Hey everybody, it's Will with Schedule Fly, and I'm excited today to have Steve Davis on the phone. Steve's in Osh Kosh, Wisconsin, and he and his wife Ardy co-own Ardy and Ed's Drive-In. And this is a really neat business. It's like going back in time in a lot of ways. It was started in 1948, so 70 years in business, and they're still just doing really, really well. And this place has been featured on, the list of TV shows, national TV shows, ones you know, it's just a mile long. Anderson Cooper's been there for his show on CNN. It's won all kinds of awards, and here they are 70 years later still doing things the way they always have, which is just great food, famous draft root beer, and just really personal, friendly service. So, Steve, thank you very much for taking the time to join today.
You're welcome, Will.
So the business changed hands a couple times. Started in '48 as a drive-in, and am I right that I guess your wife Ardy was she and her former husband bought the business in 1960, and then you started working there in around '77. Is that right?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay, so you've been at it for quite some time, and. And by the way, I forgot to mention, I also noticed that you've won a couple of awards yourself, particularly the Restaurateur of the Year in 2008 for the Wisconsin Restaurateur Association. So I know you've been big on promoting independent restaurants and hospitality education and things like that. So tell me, give me a little bit more backstory about the restaurant and how it got started and why it was so popular and what y'all have been able to do to maintain that for so many years.
Sure. Well, the restaurant, like you had mentioned, began in 1948, and when it first began, it was known as the Southside A&W. It was, an A&W franchise. They did things a little different back then. Basically, if you bought and sold A&W root beer, you could be an A&W root beer stand. And so it really, the folks that started it took a small building and, made it into the drive-in restaurant and painted the building orange and started serving root beer. And that was kind of the beginning of it. And we really, obviously things have had to be modernized and improved and stuff through the years, but something that we really pride ourselves in is, if you were to look back or see, photos of what the business looked like in the late 40s, early 50s, it really looks quite a bit like, the way it did back then. And that's something we've worked hard to kind of preserve.
Tell me about the town of Osh Kosh.
Osh Kosh is a city of about 60 or 65,000 people now. And, kind of a mid-sized city for Wisconsin. And it's pretty much a working-class town. We're kind of known as the event city, so we have a lot of big-name events throughout the year, but mainly through the summer season. We have the Experimental Aircraft Association has an international aviation convention the end of July that draws about 600,000 people to town, and we have a number of country music and rock music festivals, and so there's a lot of things that bring in additional people and tourists to town during the summer, and we're fortunate because of what we do being quite unique that our business is pretty attractive to those visiting guests.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of drive-ins these days.
No, no, you don't, and so it takes hard work and that to kind of keep it going, but also because there aren't a lot of them, it kind of puts us in our own little niche where we're not quite competing head to head with as many restaurants as most people have to.
Why do you not see as many these days? What's happened with drive-ins over the years?
I think a big thing was, is kind of a speed of service type issue. the way we do things, we're fairly quick, but yet because it is like most drive-ins, we're fairly small places. I mean, we're limited as to just how fast we can put food out, and as everybody's gotten busier and things, people are a little more time sensitive, and we really kind of try to promote come out, relax, roll your windows down, listen to the music, take a little more time than you usually do to have lunch and just have a good time.
Yeah, it seems like that's something that people will never tire of. So it's probably a great thing that you've been able to endure, because as you're on one end of the spectrum, on the other end is, I need something quick, I need to order my food and drive through and pick it up in a window and have it ready in 30 seconds and eat it while I'm driving, kind of thing. So there's that, but that's, what people do when they're running around and in a hurry, but we never tire of relaxing and resting, and there are fewer opportunities for that now. So you really present, like you said, a very unique opportunity that probably becomes, and in a weird way, I mean, it's almost like it becomes more and more meaningful and valuable to people over time as the world gets faster. Having an opportunity to slow down probably becomes more interesting and more enjoyable and more needed these days.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, and we hear that from those type of comments from quite a few customers, and it's also really kind of a unique thing has been being there as long as we have. We really have a very multi-generational customer base, and on any given day, I mean, we have grandparents bringing out the young grandkids and saying, "Geez, this is how we used to do it," back in my day, and it really sometimes it almost surprises me the interest that the younger generation of people still have in the restaurant.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to hear that. So, what do you love most about what you do, Steve?
I think, without a doubt, is the ability to make people happy that we have. They're the greatest reward to us, is hearing comments about, how much people enjoy visiting us, or, and really just seeing the smiles on people's faces, and see, when we see how many people, on a daily basis, there's always people taking photos or posing with the car hops and things like that. And just to think that what we do for a living can make, people's days a little bit brighter, really is really rewarding to us.
So you started working there in 1977, so you've been there for 41 years. So you've got a really good, unique, big picture perspective about what's been happening with hospitality over the years. What's changed the most over those years that you've been a part of it?
I would say, well, I mentioned, obviously, kind of the speed factor has been a thing, and the fact that I think fewer people, take time to enjoy as many meals as they used to. But I think, I think one of the things, and where we've been fortunate to do it, is there's definitely, a little bit of a, I'm trying to think of the word for it, but, people expect a little entertainment, to some degree with their meal, a little more than what they used to, whether it's, music or the decor of a place, or, the type of service that people give. And I think that, we've been, for as old as we are, and, what we did was really kind of an old-fashioned thing, or have kept that going. But, I think there's kind of an entertainment factor to how we do it, and so I think is one of the keys, for us being able to survive as long as we have. And and it's as far as changes go, it's been challenging to, there've been kind of a change, along with what customers expect changing. There's been a change in what your staff expects and things like that. So it's become a little more challenging to staff the restaurant, and with the type of people that we want to be able to do what we do.
What do you mean by that? The staff? What's changed?
Well, I think we find that it's, there's fewer young people, and just in general, and because there are fewer of them, it's, our employee base has generally been high school and college age, students with some full-time people to fill in around that, but most of the student age population, are quite busy. I think they're busier than what people used to be years ago. A lot of times, a job a job was kind of entertainment and activity for students, where now, so many are involved in competitive sports or competitive dance and things like that make it, kind of limit their availability to work.
Mm. Yeah, kids. Yeah, that's true. Kids they're fully scheduled these days, aren't they?
Right.
Yeah, for sure. What are some of the sort of just foundational principles that you and Ardy use to run the business in terms of the beliefs and philosophies you've kind of built the business on that have helped it sustain for so long?
Well, I think, the first and foremost, it's serving a good quality food product. I mean, we buy a lot of the items we use, the bakery and things like that are, done locally. I mean, we try to have it, a little fresher and a little more home style than a lot of restaurants, and that's something we've always kind of prided ourselves in. Another big thing, and we're quite known for it. We hear comments daily on it, is how clean we keep the place. We've always been very proud of that. I mean, it always looks, pretty much spotless, whether it's in the middle of a rush or, if it's at the end of the day. I mean, we really keep the business and the building up, both physically and, with daily cleaning, and that's a real sense of pride for us. And then we, the other big factor is we try to have, nice, friendly people working for us that are good to our customers. And, we have a good share of our customers are, regular repeat customers, and they like to get to know, our staff members, and, it really becomes almost family-like.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. What share are, because you have a lot of events there and things like that, but you're able to build a majority of the business through people that are just regular customers that are coming back again and again, families and extended families and things like that.
That is, that still is definitely the base of our business. The other things are kind of the extra, the extra kind of the frosting on the cake, I guess. But really, we've had just all through the years tremendous support from, the people in the city of Osh Kosh, and it really, they take almost a sense of ownership, I think, to some degree of the restaurant. It's kind of their restaurant, and they're proud of it and speak highly of it, and in return, do us the favor of coming out as our guests.
Do you do a lot of training with the young staff like that? Does it require a lot of training to help them understand how to build those connections and relationships and foster those relationships with your customers?
We try. I would say we do, a fair amount. A lot of the training we kind of rely on, our returning experienced staff to share, with the other people, and we've had, we feel, that for us that's worked pretty successfully, because especially, as we get older, sometimes it's a little hard to connect with the younger people, and I think they're kind of their peers are sometimes able to promote that a little better than we are.
Well, the ones that have been there a while probably take a lot of the same pride and ownership, as you mentioned, the customers do, with really, monitoring team members and making sure that they're doing the things they need to do and abiding by the, philosophies that you all have used to be successful.
Right. And a big part of of our, continuing to make sure that happens is the fact that, we're there and we're working shoulder to shoulder with people. We're not just, bosses or people that just come in at the end of the day to collect the money, or, we've always have worked, hard and worked shoulder to shoulder with the people. And that, I think, then they're in turn more respectful of us and of what we're trying to do. And that's been a big part of it.
Well, they're seeing you as leading by example. Are you ever able to get away? I bet you're. I mean, I know you maybe physically or mentally. Probably it's hard to. That's something you've been so close to for so long. Are you able to remove yourself from time to time and have time to think and plan?
It is sometimes possible, but generally, we're a seasonal business, basically March through October, and so it's always been, we know that's the time we have to be there, and so there are no summer vacations or things like that. We take our time for a little rest and relaxation in the off season, and but it's there. There's times, different things that we're involved with and stuff that need some time away from the business, and we've been fortunate to always have good staff people that do things the way we want when we're not there.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're seasonal. So March through October, you said?
Yes.
You just can't serve drive-in food in the cold Wisconsin winters, huh?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't go well with a couple feet of snow and ice and 10 below zero.
Oh my goodness, that's right. I had not thought about that. That would be tough. Be tough on your staff.
Yes, yeah, it would. And it just, it just is. For one, the seasonal is part of the tradition that we try to carry on, and that gives us, every year we're always kind of the new restaurant in town when we reopen in the spring, and people look forward to it, and so it's just worked the way it's worked for that long that it just doesn't look like it would pay to go any longer than that.
Well, it's interesting too, because when there's limits like that, I guess it does. It people know that there's only it's almost a sense of scarcity. You've only got a limited amount of time that you can go to Ardy and Ed's during the year, so you're going to try to maximize it because you'll miss it during the downtime, during the off season.
Yep, that definitely is a factor, I think.
Well, do you so you've been, I know, involved with the Wisconsin Restaurateur Association, and I read on there, I know you've won some awards for several things there, but one that I noticed that was interesting was, for ongoing hospitality education. So tell me just kind of your big picture thoughts on restaurants, independent restaurants in particular, and their importance to their communities and their importance to you.
Yes, in regards to independent restaurants, I think they, ourselves and many of the other independent ones, there's somewhat, they're getting to be fewer and fewer, and I think, they're, without them, you kind of lose the personal tie to the community that they've always been known for. But it's, restaurants are a great, training and learning ground for younger people, and that's something that we've always in our business have prided ourselves in. We, besides the obvious skills of making a sandwich or scooping an ice cream cone, we teach people cleaning skills that quite often they don't learn at home. We teach them they learn how to get along with others, they learn how to be respectful to customers, and there just are a lot of kind of life lessons that we're able to share with people that are important for them, and and there are things they can use later in their career and later in their life. I mean, we get, probably weekly we have some, former employee of some kind come in and, come in to visit and say hi when they're back in town or something. And, they always mention quite often to the other staff people that are there, they like to say, this place taught me how to work, or, they taught me to have, good work ethic and be on time. And so we're, have really been proud of that. And then we try to encourage, we've had, with the type of restaurant we have, what we do doesn't lend itself necessarily to a lot of people moving into, that type of work for a career. But we've had a number through the years where, I think because of having a good first experience with, restaurant and hospitality work, they have gone on to be, either, hospitality degrees from places, and they've worked in hotels or other restaurants, or, even as food brokers. So I think we give a good exposure to kind of the positive parts of the, restaurant and hospitality business.
Absolutely, you do, and I agree on that. These are life skills, and it's a great job for a young person to learn all the things you mentioned, plus just dealing with so much going on at once and being able to keep your calm and manage what at times I'm sure can be very stressful. Good stress, but when there's tons of customers and lots happening, and maybe something goes wrong, and trying to navigate all that. That's a great set of skills that you can leverage in almost anything. But certainly with independent restaurants, you're providing an opportunity for, people to be a part of something that's, I mean, particularly in your case, it's been an icon, an institution in the community for 70 years, and the money spent there stays local, and it's really an investment in the community. So, well, that's really it's a fascinating story, Steve. I mean, any business that's been around for 70 years, I tip my hat and just salute what y'all have accomplished, and you and the folks before you. But certainly, you and your wife have been at it for a long time now, and have done really well with creating just an amazing, like I said, institution there in your town. And I'm sure it will be around for many years to come. And you've made tens of thousands of people smile and happy, and trained a lot of folks to go out there and be, get a good foundation for their career. So, so thank you for doing that. Thank you for what you and your wife do, and thanks for taking the time to be on here today.
Well, you're welcome, and thank you for your interest in our little restaurant.
Oh, absolutely. Well, y'all been a good customer for a long time, and we appreciate it. And we're inspired by the people we serve, and certainly businesses that have endured as long as yours have. So, so thank you very much, and tell your team thank you as well.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right, Steve. Have a good one. Y'all have a great week.
Thank you. You too.
All right, take care.
Goodbye.
Bye.